Hello, we're live. Did I yell? All right. Are there any smart people out there? This is just a tease for a big event tomorrow. During a discussion I had recently, we talked about what if we discussed what a fact is, and we discussed whether or not two opposing facts can exist at the same time. And it's a very interesting topic. I decided to get an expert. Well, yeah, an expert. A scientist is at least one angle for an expert on this topic. A lawyer would be another. Probably get to the same basic thing in two different ways. Or maybe not. Maybe a fact for a lawyer is different than a fact for an astronomer. So this is going to be great tomorrow, and I want to arm you with as much info as you can. I want to give you something to think about. Hi, Boston Bob. That's a fact, Jack. It's a fact. Ipso fact. Oh. Anyway, Bob, you got me off track. So, I lined up this debate with a scientist. It would have been interesting to have the lawyer at the same time, but that might have gotten too complicated. I can do the same thing with a lawyer another time because this is extremely important as we go through life, especially when it comes to the political situation and the rule of law. Are there any facts? I mean, there are three things that can exist. There's no such thing as a fact, or there can be multiple facts at the same time that are opposing, like a thing can be either X or not X. That's Aristotelian, and that's always been kind of rock bottom for me. I like the idea of facts because to me, the notion that a thing cannot be both X and not X is comforting. The idea that a thing can be both X and not X is not Aristotelian, but Eastern. And I don't think you can have a thing that's both X and not X unless you change the definition of X. Anyway, I'm going to read to you the letter I wrote to my guest. So you can be thinking about this and join us tomorrow and address this. I said, "Hi, Doug. Looking forward to tomorrow." Last time I addressed this topic, a viewer said, and his name was Phil, that there can be opposing facts and offered the example that since heliocentric and geocentric views existed simultaneously, for a time anyway, that there can be two opposing sets of facts at once, or two opposing facts at once. Now, geocentric is a theory that the solar system goes around the geo, or the Earth. Heliocentric is a theory that we believe now that it goes around the sun. So, let me continue. I like to think that a thing cannot be simultaneously X and not X. I would say geocentric was a hypothesis that turned out to be wrong. It was not a fact. They thought it was a fact, but it wasn't a fact. But a smart debater, and this is what I should not do, is give away my argument. A smart debater, or give away a potential argument against me, a smart debater would say that they thought they observed the sun go around the earth. And so if a fact is something that is repeatable and observable, then that was a fact. They observed it. The thing is, they didn't see the big picture. Okay, so they were wrong. But that big picture part is problematic because there are many things that we consider facts now. There are many things that we consider facts now that, who knows? Maybe we're wrong and we just don't see the big picture, just like they are wrong for heliocentric on geocentric. Therefore, depending on the tack we take, these things that we think are facts, like gravity, may not be facts. Gravity is probably a pretty good example. The thing we think gravity is could be completely wrong, and now they talk about gravity being a dent in the time-space continuum based on the amount of mass, and that might be wrong. I'm going to have to turn this off. Whew. So, of course, then people could say that other facts may be wrong. It's just that we don't understand the big picture yet. So here's the deal. We do need to get on with life. There are rules. There are laws. You go to court. There are facts. You do need something like a fact to get through the day for societies to function. So here's the deal. It kind of boils down to, where do we draw this arbitrary line between fact and hypothesis? What are the guidelines for that? Are there rules? What is the rule? Where do we draw the line? And how do we justify drawing it where we do? That's the discussion tomorrow. That's the letter I sent him. It's off there. That'll give him time to prepare, I hope. And it only recently occurred to me that the legal notion of facts may be different than the scientific notion of facts, which is fairly interesting. Our country is falling apart because there are what people feel are two sets of facts. One set of facts promoted by the powers that be on that side, and an entirely and opposing set of facts that are promoted by the people in power on the other side. I feel like I would like to get back to a thing cannot be both X and not X, and have everybody realize you really have to search out facts and not just absorb and consume the story that makes you happy, that justifies what you want to believe. You can do that, but don't call them facts. Boom. So there you go. Tomorrow at 10 with scientist Doug Arian. Peace. Talk to you tomorrow.